picture this. A food that absolutely defies all the normal rules of going bad. No refrigeration, no artificial preservatives, just eternal freshness. Today, we're unpacking an explainer on a natural secret that literally baffles both history and science.
We all know the drill, right? You put your perfectly good leftovers in the fridge, fully intending to eat them, and then what? Just a few days later, they've morphed into this unrecognizable, fuzzy science experiment. It is so frustrating. But contrast our flimsy modern leftovers with today's mystery food. This is a food that can just sit around while entire human civilizations rise, flourish, and completely turn to dust. And through all of that, it stays perfectly preserved for thousands of years.
Okay, let's dive into this. This miraculous, immortal food isn't some highly processed lab creation pumped full of chemicals. It's actually honey. Yep. That sweet, sticky treat probably sitting in your pantry right now is one of the very few foods in the entire world that almost never spoils. It's just a complete natural masterpiece.
Section 1. The Egyptian Tomb Discovery. Unearthing an Ancient Edible Secret.
To really wrap our heads around the magnitude of this, we've got to travel back in time. When archaeologists were excavating those dark, sealed tombs of ancient Egypt, they fully expected to find mummies, gold, all those classic artifacts. But tucked away among those traditional treasures, they stumbled on something totally unexpected. Literal pots of honey. And this wasn't just old honey. This stuff had been sitting in those underground chambers for thousands of years. Thousands. Just resting in the pitch dark.
Now, what's really interesting about this discovery is, despite sitting in a tomb for millennia, when scientists actually examined it, this honey was still perfectly edible. I mean, think about that for a second. No rot, no spoiling, absolutely zero mold. You could technically crack open a jar that was left as an offering for an ancient pharaoh and just safely spread it right on your morning toast. It is absolutely mind-blowing.
Section 2. The Secret Science. Why it never goes bad.
So how on earth does it pull off this magic trick? Well, the process here is actually pretty simple, but totally fascinating. Honey contains this highly unique mix of natural components. Specifically, it has extremely low water content and really high acidity. And that combination, it creates a super hostile environment for microscopic invaders. It basically acts as a biological shield that completely stops bacterial growth right in its tracks. And the simple rule of nature is, if you don't have bacteria breaking it down, the food just doesn't spoil. It's nature's perfect self-preserving system.
And because it's so incredibly effective at halting bacteria, we haven't just used it to sweeten our tea. For centuries, across so many different cultures, honey has actually served a crucial dual purpose. Yes, obviously it's a delicious, energy-rich food, but it's also been deeply revered as a powerful natural medicine. Ancient healers would literally use it to treat wounds and prevent infections, relying on those exact same antibacterial properties that keep it from spoiling in a jar.
Let's move on and see how this builds in Section 3. From gold to today, a timeless treasure.
Back in ancient civilizations, because of these incredible properties and, the intense manual labor required to actually harvest it, honey was incredibly rare. It was highly luxurious. I'm talking valued on par with precious gold, treated as this divine treasure reserved pretty much exclusively for royalty and the ultra-elite. But today, the story is completely different. It's seamlessly evolved into a daily staple for millions of us worldwide. We literally just stroll into any grocery store, grab a little plastic bottle, and keep it on our breakfast tables. It is kind of crazy to think how something once strictly reserved for ancient royalty is now just a cozy comfort in our own kitchens.
So, we're talking about a food that outlasts empires and makes this incredible journey from a royal tomb straight to your morning toast. It really makes you appreciate that little bear-shaped bottle sitting in your pantry, doesn't it? So, I gotta ask, do you also eat honey? Tell us in the comments, how do you use this immortal ingredient in your daily life? Because next time you stir it into your tea or drizzle it over a bowl of oatmeal, just remember, you are literally tasting a piece of forever.